Yeah, hi there, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online course called the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. These comments are for R. So you completed, it looks like, one of my integrated speaking practice tests, so let's listen to it right now.
There is two types of how advertising affect people's habit in the reading passage and the listening.
Okay, that's not too bad. Now you say there is two types, but your subject there is types, which is plural. So you want to make your verb plural. You want to say there are two types.
In the reading passage mentioned that advertising...
Now wait a minute. Let's go back again.
And the listening. In the reading passage mentioned that...
Now, you don't want to say in the reading passage mentions, because if you say in the reading passage, that's a prepositional phrase, which means you don't actually have a subject. But you can say this, the reading passage mentions, or according to the reading passage, and then you can say advertising has political effects.
That advertising modify person's action by commercial from TV,
but let's
radio.
go back again. Hold on one thing.
In the reading passage mentioned that advertising modify person's action.
Okay, now you're getting to a detail, but you want to state the generalization about the reading first. So what is the purpose of the reading passage? How does it affect what you see there? The purpose of the reading passage is to discuss the first effect advertising has on people's behaviors, right? And what effect is that? It's political effects. So the reading passage is discussing the political aspects of advertising.
By commercial from TV, radio, or billboard.
You want to say radio.
The reading uses these ways to explain how much affect people to vote for a particular...
You want to say how much...
candidate or against.
Let's go back again.
Reading uses these ways to explain how much affect people to vote.
How much it affects, or how much politics affects people's, or how advertising, how much it or advertising affects people's political behaviors.
For a particular candidate or against to him as example. Also, the speaker gives another type of the impact of advertising. It has to do with economy of people.
There. I probably wouldn't say the economy of people, just say economic effects. But you're getting the point though. Your listening is better in that you state the generalization first, and then you provide the examples to help explain the generalization, right?
For instance, a consumer sometimes buy a particular brand of toothpaste because he already saw it in some ads. So he become convinced.
Now sometimes when you're speaking you say he become or it explain. Don't forget that third person S. This is a subject-verb agreement issue. When your verb is singular, or when your subject is singular, the verb also needs to be singular. We do that by putting that S on the end of the verb. So it affects. The listening explains. The speaker claims.
With it. At the end, speaker says that advertising...
You want to say the speaker says.
...could be positive or negative. Therefore, consumers have to be more careful on the sincerity of it. Therefore, consumers have to be more careful on the sincerity of it. In conclusion, the readable passage and the audible from the conversation talk about sincerity of it. In conclusion, the readable passage.
You want to say the readable passage. That would be the wrong choice of the word there. You want to use the reading passage, the listening passage.
And the audible from the conversation talk about.
The audio, not audible.
To be more careful on the sincerity of it. In conclusion, the readable passage and the audible from the conversation talk.
So you just want to say the reading passage and the audio. But you can just focus on the speaker if you want.
About some affection of advertising, which is politics and economics on a human's life.
Okay, that's pretty good. Your conclusion, you kind of end, I think, appropriately, making the connection. However, You spoke for about 75 seconds for TOEFL purposes, and for being concise, try to get your speech down to about 59 to 60 seconds. So you're taking a little bit too long with your ideas. All right, now let's talk about your scores. So I'm going to go to the rubrics right now and give you an idea how you would score in this particular practice test. Okay, so first of all, with delivery, you're having some problems with your pronunciation, so I would encourage you to keep working in the pronunciation area of my course. Language use is probably your biggest area. You're having a lot of problems choosing the right word. For example, using an adjective versus a noun, putting the right ending on the word, having correct subject-verb agreement. So you are having some problems with language use. I think it would be a good idea for you to do two things here. You might want to write these down. I recommend vocabulary lesson number 3. That'll be a great lesson to help you build your basic vocabulary level. The second thing is to regularly go to grammar lesson number 7 and start going through some of those sentence exercises and write down the correct sentences you see and start getting a little bit more used to English grammar, and that might help you begin to address some of your language use errors. Topic development, I think, was your strongest area, but you did it at the end of the speech, but I'd like you to do it in the beginning. The beginning means state what you think the purpose of the reading and the listening passage is. So the reading is discussing more the political aspects of advertising, and the listening talks more about the economic effects of advertising. You want to make that purpose clear in the beginning of your response. That's showing you understand how to introduce your general topics before you get to your detail information, and that will help you with your organization a little bit. Alrighty, so your score here, if we take a look at the rubrics, I'm going to put you at about 2.16 out of 4. That's going to put you at 17 points out of 30. And for the purposes of our class, 2.16, that's going to put you at 75% on this particular practice test. So if you want to score higher, you will need to address especially some of your language use issues. And if you follow my suggestions in this video, you will be able to make progress in that area. All right, thank you.